The Poedagar 808 seems to be an homage to a Seiko. I'm not sure, but it definitely has the Seiko looks about it. But I don't think it's an original from Poedagar, who are more famous for their homages, as I have seen the same design from Benya, which is a sister brand of Pagani Design. And I'm not actually sure if it's who come first, if it was Poedagar or Benya, but it's definitely an homage to something. Anyway, let's have a look at this thing. Good day to you all and welcome back to another BBW review. So the Poedagar 808, as I've mentioned, it's not an original design, and it certainly looks like it takes some design cues from Seiko. But I've also found another one online with exactly the same styling from Benya, which you can see here. So going straight into the dimensions of this, you have a 41 millimeters across the diameter there, with a 50 millimeter lug to lug. So it's quite a nice shape for my 6.5 inch wrist. The depth from the back to the slightly domed mineral crystal, although they do state it's a hard lex, I'm not sure about that, is 12 millimeters. So not, it looks chunky, but it looks fine on the wrist, but 12 millimeters. It's quite a rounded case, as you can see, with a 6 millimeter signed crown. It's not embossed, it's lightly engraved with the Poedagar logo, and with 2 pushers for the stopwatch. I don't like to call it stopwatch because it's, well, as I'll show you in a moment, it's I've noticed a few problems here, but the case is it's quite a nice shaped case. It's an alloy, chrome plated, as you can see, with the lugs. The lugs do narrow down quite a lot to hug the wrist, which is I like. They start quite deep into the case, and they're quite stubby and short, as you can see. 50 millimeters with that rounded hard lex, apparently hard lex, crystal on top. So you get quite a bit of distortion there, as you can see. Now the dial, it's a nice dial, it's a nice looking dial, and it should, for me, it should be too busy, but I can still make at the time. The time is still quite legible, but it definitely gives off those Seiko vibes. Let's just polish that a bit. So starting from the outside, as you can see, you get a, I'm not sure you can see that, a tachyometer scale. Although it's not a tachyometer because the second hand, you have a small second hand. For a tachyometer, you need a large second hand sweep around here. So it's just for show there. Within that, you'll get printed markers for every 10 minutes. And within that, you'll get sub-seconds all around with, again, 5-minute markers working around there. And within that, then you'll get the numerals. The missing ones are where you have the subdials, as you can see. So there's no 3, 9, or 6. So I like the styling of the numerals. Quite a classic looking font they've used here. Below the 12, you have printed the Poedagar logo and the scripted name. And on the 3, 6, and 9, you'll have these, as you can see, these pips, which are meant to be loomed, as are the hands, but it's not great loom and not one you can really expect for just $17. Sorry, I should have mentioned, this is $17, postage and packed as usual from Shenzhen. It's a sunburst, although as I mentioned earlier, in real it actually looks better than it does in the pictures or on video. you do get a nice sunburst, especially with, I believe the blue one is the best. I chose the green one because I don't have many green dials. Let's look at the subdials first. So the bottom one is the count for the seconds. Now you'll notice that it's not, I can't position this directly upwards to the 60. I believe there is a way to do this, but every time I start and stop it, it resets back to that position there, which I don't really like, but I don't use a stopwatch anyway. But the dials, so the bottom one of the 6 is for counts the seconds. The one on the left, where the 9 position is, counts the minutes, as you can see. And the one on the 3 on the right is a 24-hour marker with a moon phase, which actually does work, which I'll show you in a second. Now, onto the pushers. The functions are pretty standard. The top one starts and stops, and the bottom one resets. Now, let's clear that minute hand out of the way. Now, when I start the pusher, you'll notice the second hand at the bottom begin. So it begins ticking along in single ticks, no sweep there. And when that goes full circle, the minute hands will tick onto each minute, but I'm not going to wait for that. So let's look at the more interesting one, is the 24-hour hand. So as I progress the hands, you can see the 24-hour marker denote the 24-hour time. So if I position the hands over the 12, you'll see it's exactly 24 hours. Now you can also notice the moon. That's actually the sun. I'm not sure if it's the sun or the moon. Progressing from left to right. That should be the evening now. Coming up to night time. I hope to see the moon. No, it's the sun, so I was actually wrong. So this is the morning now, 9 in the morning, and it goes round until midday, where it's kind of centered, and into the afternoon and the evening, where the moon will come up here about 9:30. So that's quite a nice touch. I got an interesting comment about these moon phases being useless until someone made a very good comment that what if you're in a country where, example, in Scandinavia, where you may need to know if it's night or day, which is quite a nice comment and one I hadn't thought of. I hope you know what I'm talking about there. It's sort of comment I had with the Tivis, which had a moon phase. An interesting remark and one I hadn't thought of. The hands themselves, there's quite a bit of resistance. It's not too floppy as you get on much cheaper watches. So the resistance is okay. They're kind of sword-shaped hands with a bit of lume. And as I mentioned, for $17, you're not going to get great lume. So the lume is on these dots here at the 369 and stroked across the minute and the hour. The second hand has nothing. It's just an arrow-tipped second hand, but no lume at all there. Let's have a look at this movement now with on the 12 o'clock. See if we can get that minute hand not to jump. So on the 12, pushing in, and it jumps slightly there. And now finger and thumb, pushing in. No jump. It's a pretty good movement, I guess. It's basically standard Chinese movement, but it keeps good time. Oh, one thing I haven't mentioned, at the 4:30, you have a date. It's not bordered, or it's not really colour matched either. So you have at the 4:30 the date, which is not really bordered and is not colour matched, but that's fine. It kind of blends in with the rest of the watch, which is quite busy. One thing I wanted to show you was the stopwatch has been working for about 4 or 5 minutes now, and I'd like you to keep an eye on this hand here. So when I stop it and now reset, it keeps on swinging all the way until the minute hand resets. Now the first thing is, you'll notice it doesn't go back directly to the top of the 60, and neither does the minute hand. Now if you have set that and it's been going for 60 minutes, you work out how many times that is going to go reset backwards and it gets to normal again. That's going to take about 10 minutes. So it's okay if you're timing things over a short period, 5 or 10 minutes, but if it's up to an hour, that's going to swing around hundreds and hundreds of times before it resets again. So just take that as a note if you do use the stopwatch, which I don't. Anyway, let's look at the back of this thing now. So the back, I'll just remove that. It's stainless steel back, as you can see, and they always do the same design, the logo at the top, their name across the center, and 3 ATM, or 30 meters of water resistance, which is pretty standard for a pull-off, press-down back cover, which is stainless steel. And the designation is an 808B. The movement inside, I'm not sure what that is. The movement inside is going to be standard Chinese movement, but it works okay. And you wouldn't really expect any more from a watch that costs $17. Let's move on to the strap of this. Now this is supplied in 2 different kinds of straps. One is a kind of leather look strap, the other is this. It's not really canvas, but I'm not sure what it is. It's quite supple, it's padded halfway down and slims down towards the buckle here, which has been signed. I'm not sure if you can see that. Barely. Notice it's got the name Poedagar. Pretty standard. 2 keepers, one floating, one fixed. Now onto the other side of the strap, what you see here with this fraying is there was a piece of this cotton loose, and when I pulled it, it kind of undid all that material there. So take that into account when you're choosing one of these. I quite like the strap, and it does match the dial quite well, so I won't be changing it. Maybe just put some glue on there. Glue and a watch shouldn't really be in the same sentence, but with these budget watches, it is. So it's a genuine leather strap. It's quite supple, so it doesn't need any breaking at all. And you have the Poedagar branding stamped into the other side. So a fairly decent strap. Nothing to write home about, does the job. But you may want to change it so you don't get that problem. And I don't really like using glue on watches. It doesn't sound great for the quality of the watch. So there you go, the Poedagar 808. So there you have it, the Poedagar 808. Would I recommend this for $17? Probably. It's quite a nice watch. It's one of these watches that actually looks better in the real than it does on video or in the photos. And of course you do get quite a wide range of colours and straps. It's quite a nice looking watch, and it's quite well built for what you get. So that's it for today. Thanks for watching, and I hope to see you again with another watch on the green chair. Until then, as always, take it easy.